This is the story of a beautiful girl who falls in love with two boys at once. One is her friend and the other is a boy from her school. Both are smart and handsome. We'll find out which one this beautiful girl rejects and which one she accepts. So the film begins with this beautiful girl. Her name is June. Judging by the box behind her, it appears she's new to this place. After a while, June leaves for her new school, but she's biting her nails. Her mother forbids her from doing so as not to make others think she's stressed. But June doesn't like this dress. She wants to wear jeans like the boys. She leaves her house and a short time later arrives at her school, where two students call her. The girl's name is Amelia and the boy's name is Blaze. They ask June to spin around, and June spins around without question, which makes Blaze and Amelia adore June's innocence. So they take June inside with them. They ask about June. June explains that she just moved in with her mom, after which Blaze shows June a play, but June is very attracted to the boy performing the play and keeps staring at him. His name is James. But then Amelia tells June to stay away from James. Everyone arrives at class. June sits next to a boy named Will, but James arrives and asks June to move away, as he sits in the same spot every day. But because he's late, the teacher asks him to sit in another seat. And today is their exam, but despite it being June's first day, she knows all the topics. June is sitting outside when Will comes in and starts flirting. He then offers June a drink. June takes his. The two begin to flirt more and more. Will starts to leave, but June throws her arms out in joy. James approaches from behind, spilling his drink on her. James thinks June did it intentionally, but June apologizes. But James ignores him and takes June to the boys' washroom, where June sees something she shouldn't have. James takes off his clothes and throws them in June's face, demanding that she wash them by Monday. But June refuses. But James moves closer to her and is about to turn on the shower when June agrees to wash his clothes. She then comes out to Amelia. Amelia asks her to go out with them tonight and gives her number. June arrives home, where June's mother has a babysitting job. But because they have to go somewhere tomorrow, she starts refusing. But then June agrees to babysit because she has a holiday from school tomorrow. Her mother asks her to tell her if she wants anything in return for babysitting, and June, seizing the opportunity, offers to go to a party tonight, and her mother agrees. Amelia and Blaze come to pick June up that night, but when they see June's dress, they both start laughing. After that, they take June to a place where, after looking at many dresses, they like the red dress very much, and June looks very beautiful in it. The three of them then arrive at the party, where a fight is going on, and everyone is enjoying themselves. Will is also at the party. He compliments June's beauty and asks how her day went at school. June tells him about James, saying, "He treated me very badly yesterday." Will introduces James as his childhood friend and says that while no one likes him at first, he's not bad at heart. James arrives for the fight, and everyone starts cheering loudly upon seeing him, and the fight begins, but James defeats his opponent immediately. And because James won the fight, his trainer receives a lot of money. James considers his trainer the best. Everyone starts dancing outside. Will joins June in dancing, and then goes outside to get water for June. But then June sees Will talking to a girl, which makes her feel bad. But then Amelia and Blaze arrive and tell June about the girl, who turns out to be Will's ex. Since this is a long time ago, she tells June not to worry. And then James arrives and grabs June's hand and tries to pull her out, forbidding her from getting close to Will. But when June starts calling out for Will, James puts some money in her private parts and forcibly takes her out. Because James loves his friend Will very much, he doesn't want any other girl to play with his heart again. At home, June is looking at Will's Instagram posts. She finds James's ID there. She looks at his posts too. But June finds James too hot and starts having dreams about him at night. But June's mother sees her doing this and asks her the name of the boy she was in love with in her dreams. But then June's mother remembers her son, who has died. June starts crying along with her. A short time later, June is out for a walk with Will. They are discussing each other's likes and dislikes when Will receives a call from James. After talking to Will, June calls him a very mean person. But Will explains that he has known James since childhood. He used to be very shy and timid, while James was never afraid of anyone. Will explains that he wanted to be like James. Initially, Will didn't like James either, but gradually they became very good friends. Still, June doesn't believe Will, because James has always treated her rudely. At this point, the atmosphere becomes a little emotional, and Will suddenly kisses June. Both realize that something special has begun between them. Not full-blown love, but certainly the beginnings. Just then, June remembers that she has to babysit today. She says goodbye to Will and leaves. Upon arriving home, she is told that she only has to take care of the baby for 2 hours, after which his parents will return. The baby is very naughty. He lightly kicks June's leg and runs inside. June follows him inside. The house is very large and luxurious. While searching for the baby, she reaches an upstairs room. Hearing a noise, she heads for the bathroom. In the bathroom, she suddenly encounters James. June hadn't expected it to be his house. The situation becomes a little awkward, and James quickly composes himself and tries to lighten the mood. James then begins to talk to June in a playful manner. June tries to appear tough on the outside, but deep inside, she too feels a little confused and strange. Outside, James is teaching the same mischievous boy how to shoot. The boy is James's younger brother. June tells James that he should teach his younger brother something good, not just how to shoot. James irritably replies, "What do you have to do with that?" As soon as the boy leaves, James starts arguing with June again and flirting with her. Just then, his family returns. June's work was over. He had to go to a party, and James was also supposed to go. James's father asked him to take June with him to the party, but James hates his father and doesn't like to obey. At first, he flatly refuses, but when his father angrily tells him sternly, he is forced to agree. Coming outside, James says they will go by bike and he will ride it, but June doesn't trust her driving, so she decides to ride the bike herself. James rides the pillion, and they both leave for the party. June rides very well, and they arrive safely. At the party, Will is a little disappointed to see June and James together. He asks June, "Are you two dating?" June tries to convince him that it's not like that, but Will says they should go inside and talk. On the way inside, June goes to give James his helmet. She sees her trainer giving him an injection. The trainer says it's just a vitamin injection, but June doesn't believe him. She feels something is wrong. She leaves. On the way, a thug suddenly attacks her. She panics. Will comes from behind and tries to save her, but he can't resist the thug. Hearing their voices, James arrives and beats him up, but the trainer then releases him and scolds him, saying, "You should have shown this anger in the ring, but now there's no fight, so the trainer has lost a lot of money." He angrily tells June to leave, believing she's the reason for all this. June is talking to Amelia when Will arrives and asks her to come with him, as James has had too much to drink. Will puts James in the car and goes back to get James's jacket. James then calls June over and flirts with her, asking her to get his beer, but things turn a little too intimate. June is about to kiss when Will arrives and sees them together. June lies, saying, "I was just checking to see if he's breathing." So what's the point of cheating on these beautiful women? Do tell in the comments, and if any beautiful girl is watching the video, then please do not play with the heart of an innocent person. Now in the front, Will gets angry with June, but how June proves him wrong and starts kissing Will to make everything right. In the background, James is in the house and is smiling, and before Will can do anything further, he becomes a saint, after which Will asks him to wait for a few minutes and then they will start. But June refuses because she finds it strange. She just wanted to have a little fun to convince Will, but Will was thinking deeper. June returns home. At home, James messages her and sends her a photo of himself, then asks June to send hers too. June refuses. James, however, doesn't give in and starts talking dirty about the charts and tells June to do something for fun. June does exactly as James told her. June enjoys it, takes a photo, and sends it to James. The next morning, June arrives at school. She regrets what she did last night at James's behest, but then James arrives and shows her the photos and videos he sent her yesterday. June tries to take James's phone, but she can't. James shocks her and tells her it was all a test. "I just tested you to see if you're worthy of Will, and you're not." A short time later, James's trainer calls him and tells him that there will be a fight after school, and he must come, but he again refuses to bring any idiots. James begins to fight again, but he gets an erection because his trainer has given him a different injection. Just then, June arrives and treats his erection, as June's brother died from the same injections. He was addicted to them. June tells James that his trainer is giving him these injections for his own benefit, so he can win the match. Just then, his trainer arrives and tells June to leave, but June refuses, and James doesn't say anything to him, after which the trainer angrily leaves. Meanwhile, Will receives a photo from an unknown number showing June and James together. Seeing this, Will is heartbroken and begins drinking. He gets too drunk and starts acting lewdly with his ex, but then he starts to spiral downhill. While June and James are having a romantic relationship, a guy comes in and tells James about Will's condition. Upon coming out, he finds Will drunk, but he's fine. James then tells June to ride his bike home. But on the way, the trainer confronts June and starts talking dirty to her, threatening her not to interfere with him because he's James's biological father. He leaves. June goes home and locks the door because her mother isn't home and she's terrified, but then someone comes knocking. June steps forward with a knife and tells her to call the police, but James is there and she hugs him and starts crying. After a short time inside, June asks James about Will, but James doesn't tell her anything. He asks her who threatened her. June doesn't tell him anything. The two then talk, and James stays at June's house so she doesn't feel intimidated. They grow very close through their conversations. June is completely ready, but James rejects her and goes to sleep on the sofa. After this, June has a lot of fun with James again that night. In her dreams, June is in love with Will, but James has been the one who has lost her love. The next morning, James comes to the trainer and tells him to stay away from June because he found the cigarettes outside June's house that the trainer often smoked. He also understands that the trainer used to give him asteroids to win matches. James says goodbye to her forever and leaves. Upon arriving at school, Amelia shows June the dress she will wear to her birthday party, but then James arrives. June sees him and runs toward him, but James forbids June from talking to him. But before June can understand, Will comes from behind, kisses her, and asks her to go shopping with him. Will wants to buy June a dress for tonight's party. His tone of voice seems to have changed. Later that night, June arrives with Will at Amelia's birthday party. Inside, June is looking at James, and Will asks her to go to him, but she refuses. Just then, Amelia arrives and takes June with her to dance. As she leaves, a video of June and James appears on Will's phone. Seeing this, Will angrily approaches James and says, "Why do you take away everything I like?" But James explains, "I did all this for you so that no other girl would cheat on you. I was just testing." To which Will replies, "You don't have any feelings for June, do you?" But deep down, James also feels love for June, so he can't say anything. Following this, Will angrily approaches June and starts dancing, hoping to make her jealous. But the opposite happens. When James approaches her, June starts dancing closer to him. Will then angrily leaves. Shortly after, James and everyone else receives a video of June and James together. Now everyone is watching them. After which, Will's first girlfriend tells June, "You shouldn't have cheated on Will like that." June leaves the party crying, followed by James. We then see June at James's house, where June asks him, "Hey, we never even kissed, but where did that kissing photo in that video come from?" James then tells her to calm down and starts to go to the guest room, but June stops him and asks him to stay with her. James stops, and then they fall asleep together. The next morning, June's mother returns home, but June is not at home. She too receives the same video of June from an unknown number. June goes straight to James's house. There, James's father and brother catch them together in the room. After this, June is brought straight home by her mother. She is very angry and upset with June because James's father is June's mother's boss. So now her job is also in danger. Angrily, she says, "I asked you to babysit his younger son, not sleep with his older son." June tries to explain that nothing happened between them, but June's mom thinks June was drunk and doesn't remember anything. Meanwhile, June's friend Amelia borrows Blaze Cab's phone to book a cab because her phone's battery was dead. He discovers on her phone that Amelia must have sent the video to everyone from an unknown number. Later that night, Blaze arrives at June's house and informs June of this. Meanwhile, James is in the fighting ring, but this time he's not fighting for his trainer, so the trainer has brought in a new guy. He gives him an injection. And when the name is announced, James discovers that the new guy is none other than Will. James refuses to fight because he loves his friend very much, but Will doesn't back down and the two begin to fight. June has also arrived with Blaze. She angrily punches Amelia in the face because Amelia was the one who sent the video. She tries to stop the fight, but the fighters lock her in a room. Will is brutally beating James in the ring. But then June presses the emergency button in the room, causing an alarm to sound. Everyone thinks the police are coming, so they run. The trainer drags James into the car. Someone goes inside June's room to turn off the alarm, but June dodges them and gets out. Seeing the trainer taking James somewhere, June tells Will to follow him, but Will, still angry, refuses. June then chases them on her bike. On the way, June cleverly shows the police the middle finger, causing them to chase. But in the car, James regains consciousness and tells the trainer to stop. They lose their balance, resulting in an accident. June arrives, and because the car is leaking gasoline, it could have caught fire at any moment. But then Will arrives, and the two pull James out of the car, saving his life. James and Will's age-old friendship is rekindled. But one question remains in my mind: who will June be with? James, the one she's attracted to and shares her heartfelt feelings with, or Will, the one she loves deeply? If you believe me, she's now James's prisoner, because everyone has seen their video and June's love for James is clearly visible in her eyes. How did you like this story? And if you're also in love with a beautiful girl, be careful. Subscribe to the channel and like the video so I don't break my heart. See you in the next video. Thank you, sir.